Okay, this is Jonathan with the Strategic Multifamily Investing Podcast, and today is a little bit different. If you're listening to us via your podcast engine, you may want to go over to YouTube and check this out as a video because we are actually using virtual reality today. And that person who just waved is my good friend and colleague, Aaron Rice, who we'll be interviewing today. With that being the case, the reason why I reached out to Aaron is Aaron, see, he's doing backflips and everything for everybody, for those who can't see. Aaron and I met doing some teaching with a national real estate provider a couple of years back, and he's always changing himself. He's transforming, and so this is his latest transformation. He's working with a tool here called Verbella, which I'll let him explain, and talk about how he's transformed his commercial real estate business into what I believe is honestly going to be the next level, past Zoom, past GoToMeeting, past some of these other virtual things, into this, again, VR environment. So with that being the case, Aaron, welcome, sir. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, Jonathan. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of your group.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about where we are right now in cyberspace.
Absolutely. We are in Verbella. Verbella actually stands for Virtual Business Environment for Learning and Assessment. This platform was designed by a gentleman by the name of Alex Howland for the University of California, San Diego MBA program, so that teachers, faculty, and staff could all collaborate globally. And so I've been using this platform for about a year now, and been in the real estate industry pretty much on the residential side for the last 20 years. And always, as you've noted, had an affinity for technology and always looking to stay on the bleeding edge. And about 3.5 years ago, I joined eXp Realty. And eXp Realty started with about 11 agents on this platform in October of 2009, and we grew our agent base to 30,000, United States, Canada, Australia, and the UK, all on the Verbella platform. We loved it so much that Glenn Sanford, the CEO of eXp, actually bought the Verbella platform. So a lot of other companies are using it, and we're using it as a international brokerage company as well.
So we're using a virtual reality platform that is now owned by eXp. Your entire brokerage is now on eXp. And while I know that, this is, based on multifamily investing, our conversations were kind of around prop tech, which is short for property tech. Property technology, just kind of like fintech is for financial technology. And for those who are, trying to catch up here, you probably heard of blockchain and Bitcoin, things of that sort in the fintech. In the property tech world, there is a demand and a need for those, say, in the construction trades, to architect their solutions, not only using CAD, but to maybe explore them using virtual reality as a means of being able to reduce the costs and the errors that often come with doing construction within the real estate space. So, but you've also kind of spun this a little bit more in terms of, working with businesses to help create, digital versions of themselves. And could you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, and how that's important right now? Before we take a look at your office here, you're doing some of that work now, I think. If you could explain that a little bit.
Absolutely. And supporting safe social distancing, right? And so this is a great place. I know some parts of the country are open, some are closed, but we see this situation as kind of being an ongoing situation. Most homes or schools or commercial spaces weren't built for social distancing. They weren't built for people to be 6 feet apart. And so what we're realizing is that there's a huge need, a huge demand for what we're calling digital twins. I'm looking at you. You're the Jonathan Mickles digital twin, a lot thinner than the last time I saw you. And I'm the Aaron Rice, digital twin, a lot thinner and a lot less gray than the last time you saw me. So, so this, so this is a great platform to be able to, and we're on a gaming platform. This is on the Unity game engine, and you're maneuvering and operating in as if you were inside of a game, because this is a game engine that we're in, but it's for business. It's for business. And so, we've got different rooms and suites here to be able to help both residential and commercial brokerages with their trying to level up. So we've got the virtual reality collaboration lab office. We've got the Uberlux Media. I'll take you on over.
Sure.
We've got the Uberlux Media SWOT analysis, where we talk to both residential and commercial agents about their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats when it comes to their online presence, when it comes to social media presence. And so if you're an agent or a buyer, seller, or you have a property even, we'll do a SWOT analysis on a property where we'll actually put the property address in Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and the goal is that we should find the same information on all the different platforms, which of course we won't, because most people aren't leveraging social media the way it should. So this office is where we sit down and have those conversations about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats when it comes to social media marketing for properties. And then in this office here is where we're taking photos or doing some documentation for builders, developers, buyers, sellers. And sometimes we're going into a property that needs some items removed. Maybe it was a property that was just acquired after a foreclosure or distressed property situation. And so we can digitally remove items. And so that's kind of our consultation room for that.
Oh, pause 1 second. I want to talk a little bit more about this, the Uberlux ultra premium SWOT room.
Yeah.
As a direct correlation, in the commercial real estate industry, we do some sort of analysis on properties that we're interested in working with. So, a lot of times we have to present that to a bunch of our investors. And right now, people are using Zoom rooms to do that. If they could imagine potentially using this space to be able to actually go over the analysis of the acquisition of the property, and then even working with their property management company to talk about how that particular property is marketed, such that if you're looking to increase the rents in a particular area, you can use these virtual spaces to be able to collaborate rather than just using the standard Zoom that you have. Again, while Zoom is great right now, we can see each other's faces, etc. This, I believe, again, this engine that EXP has purchased for Bella is the next level of that. I'm sorry, just go ahead. These things I'm just relating to, kind of the multifamily world for those who may not be, kind of forward thinking there in this way.
Yeah.
Again, if you're listening to this on the as a podcast, as an audio, go online, go to YouTube, go to Red Boot LLC's YouTube page and be able to see the video. But go ahead.
Absolutely.
What's next?
So just to your point, this is a lot more immersive than, let's say, a Zoom and some other platforms that are out there. I know for Zoom, I got to look right. My hair's got to be right. My background in my house or my home office or wherever I am has got to be just right. And that's a lot of hassle. It's a lot of stress just trying to get everything right. And okay, yeah, I might not want to have the camera on that day. And now it's a walkie-talkie type of conversation. Whereas I'm not distracted by your background, right?
Right.
I'm not looking at the little nuances in your background that I would be if you were on Zoom, and you're not doing the same with me. And so you and I can both focus on the content at hand. And I can pull up anything I want on these screens that you see here. I can pull up websites. I can pull up 3D models. We can do before and afters. And so all these screens are all interactive. And as I can add information to the screens, you can add information to the screens as well. And so we can actually have a real virtual collaboration.
Excellent. So go ahead, finish on some of the space here, sir.
Yes, sir. So we've got 12 offices here, and we are actually renting out space for anyone that's interested in acquiring just a space to be able to collaborate. You can get as small as a desk with a computer over here, or you can get a full big space, as you see here, with 12 offices, and I'll show you some of the other spaces. So this is our other office where we talk about virtual staging. So if you have a property that's newly renovated and you want to stage it virtually, we can go ahead and do that. Great thing about virtual staging, especially when you're talking multifamily, we stage it once and take all of our photos, do all of our documentation of the property, really create that digital twin. And you don't have to do it again every time a tenant moves out. So it's already done.
So then in terms of, you were, and I'm going to be probably jumping a little bit more in terms of asking about your technology using Matterport to kind of even create a 3D version of certain spaces, right? Of apartments, offices, things of that sort. What could you talk about what that technology is?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we talked earlier about, me being a digital twin in this space, you being a digital twin in this space, we also create digital twins of commercial and residential properties. And we're able to go ahead and create those types of scenarios where we can bring that type of property into this space and we can collaborate on, we're all looking at the same screen, we're all looking at the same information, and we can really be able to talk about the features, advantages, and benefits of a particular property. We can use matter tags. So what we do in quote unquote reality is we'll actually go out to a property and we can actually turn around content same day. So we can deliver a digital twin, a full building information modeling, 3D immersive model that's VR compatible, virtual reality compatible. We can turn that around same day. So, and then we bring them into spaces like this so that, people can collaborate and talk about different aspects of the property.
So what that could mean for certain people, again, when you're marketing properties, whether that's your existing property that you're trying to sell or property that you're trying to buy and investigate, is you can get a 3D rendering of the entire structure, the entire building, the entire layout, and put that online for someone to, if you're a property management company, look at the interior of, what a fully furnished apartment would look like, or a unit would look like, whether that's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or whether that's, you're doing some due diligence, maybe you now can look at the entire complex, right? And look at every unit within that complex and figure out where your problem spots are and allow your investors to be able to walk that property virtually without having to have them to be there. Granted, this is great. In the past, what I've seen is some investors actually fly their investors to the location, and then they all, the team walk through them. However, with technology like this, and if things continue as they have, recently with the COVID-19 and just other things that are happening in the world, this technology will allow you to be able to do that. You have a couple other offices to show us the renderings. You want to talk about that one?
Absolutely. So we also do renderings for properties as well. So Uberlux, so we do renderings for properties. So if somebody needs, to be able to sell a property, market a property prior to construction starting, we can go ahead and do that. So we can convert a 2D floor plan into a 3D virtual reality environment to do pre-construction visualization, both interior and exterior renderings. And then we also do makeovers as well. So sometimes, we hire media people on the cheap and we kind of get what we pay for. And so, here in the Uberlux makeover room is where we come in and do kind of an analysis. Okay, here's your property. Here's how you've been marketing it. Here's some suggestions on how we can kind of improve that. But I do want to mention briefly. Last night I did a live stream just on what we're talking about today on digital twins and how this type of technology can help. And I'll be happy to send you a link that you can share with your network.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, pretty detailed. I think people might really get some good information about that.
Yep, an immersive explanation would be great. Thank you for taking the time here. So what else do you have for us here?
Absolutely. So why don't we run on to the back?
That's right. I learned how to run in this thing.
Do you remember how to run?
Let me see.
There you go. There you go. All right. So we've got a couple of other studios back here. Pancho Brown is an artist, world famous artist here in Baltimore, Maryland. And because of the COVID crisis, a lot of the events that he had were canceled. And so we've provided him with an online space to be able to have meetings and do one-on-one consultations for his art. He does weekly Facebook Lives as well that are always very well attended. And so he's got space here. And
yeah, he's been doing very well from what I understand.
Oh, yeah. And then another friend of mine, her name is Glenna. She has a boutique in Columbia, Maryland, and she for plus size women. And so again, she was shut down due to COVID, and so we set up a kind of a virtual showroom for her as well to be able to do the same. And so, the name of the company is Virtual Reality Collaboration Lab. We're big on collaboration. We're big on making sure that people can come in and be able to show off their individual projects. We see this as a very, very small kind of Black Wall Street type of thing. But we envision opening it up to a full campus where small businesses can come in and be able to access the space.
This is amazing.
All right.
And then,
yeah. So actually, this is one of Pancho's pieces here on the wall on the left-hand side. I actually got that one for my wife for Mother's Day. So that one's hanging in our living room. Actually, one of my favorite paintings that he's done. So that's some of Pancho's work. And then on this side is Rick Bird. He's one of our co-founders. Glenna is one of our co-founders as well. So they're both there. And so these are kind of computers here. These little blue lines here on the floor. These are what are called private volume areas. So once you enter that area, the only people within that area, the only people inside that blue area are the people that can hear the conversations and see what's going on in those screens. And then on the other side of the table, it's not a private volume area, so you can go ahead and sit down, the computer pops up, and you can actually start using the computer and start collaborating with a partner right online. Okay, and then we've got our other area here. These are two pretty popular virtual reality experiences, in-headset experiences that we demoed in the early spring. I Am a Man, which is the Martin Luther King virtual reality experience, and then Traveling While Black is another virtual reality experience as well. And so very well attended. You can only see those in virtual reality. They were made specifically for virtual reality. So we're pretty proud that we were able to demo about 500 of those in the spring. And so this is another little small boardroom here. And again, it's outlined by a blue line. So only the people that have crossed that blue volume line can hear the conversation and see what's on the presentation screen. Okay, so then I'll take you into our boardroom, our large boardroom. So so this is our large boardroom.
Once we cross, we can now hear.
Yes, you couldn't hear me before. So this is our large boardroom here, and we can do a lot of customization in this space. And so we were talking about a virtual tour. We actually have one on the screen over here. This is of the Reginald F. Lewis Museum here in Baltimore City. And so this is, again, they were closed because of COVID-19. And so we were able to, they actually commissioned us to come out and create a 3D immersive virtual reality tour of the museum so that kids can still enjoy the museum without physically being present.
Wow.
And so we're really proud of that. And also in this space, we can also kind of reconfigure the space as well. So this is without seating. This is kind of a boardroom, your standard boardroom type seating here. And so it's got a few different layouts here in the space, but that's pretty much the virtual reality collaboration tour that I wanted to give you. What other questions can I answer for you?
Well, I mean, this is great. One of the things I think people will want to know is how do they get in contact with you? I mean, you're going to give us the link, obviously, to your more immersive explanation of what you all do here. But how does one get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I'm really easy to reach on social media. It's just at Aaron Rice Helps, AARON is the way you spell it. It's at Aaron Rice Helps, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can find all my content there. On Instagram, I'm Uberlux at Uberlux Media. That's UBERLUXE, Uberlux. But really easy to find, or they can call me 443-244-0051 is the number.
And all of this information will be in the description of the YouTube video and or the podcast link when you receive it. So please feel free to reach out to Aaron. And Aaron, one last thing. What do you see, as the future, not only just of this technology, we've kind of intimated it a little bit, but if you throw in your real future hat, what do you see coming? What do you think people need to understand and know in order to be ready for the shift? I mean, we weren't really ready for what COVID-19 brought along, but maybe you understand something about this technology and what you're seeing that everyone else needs to grab a hold of.
Well, I have to tell you, I really feel fortunate to have, I feel like it's 1904 all over again. This is probably the best analogy I can give you, right? In 1904, you either bought 1,500 horses, or you bought one of the Model A's that Henry Ford just rolled off the assembly line, or the brother Patterson rolled off the assembly line, right? You either invested in a car or you bought 1,500 horses and invested in a saddle making company, right? And so I was fortunate 3.5 years ago when I joined eXp Realty. I joined them specifically because I saw this platform called Virbela. And there was something about it that I really connected to, I resonated with. It's kind of COVID compliant. We're not having to make any additional shifts. I've been using this platform for the last year or so. And I think we're going to see much more of the same. I think we're going to see people creating that hybrid. We call it a twin. It's not a substitute. We're not saying this is better than Zoom, but there's, Zoom, I equate to being a breakout room inside of a convention center, right? Whereas Virbela is the entire convention center and all of downtown. That's kind of the difference between the two, right? You and I can go for a boat ride if we wanted to after this conference, or we could go on a soccer field and play soccer, but we don't have to leave this environment. And so I think the future of work is going to be virtual. And so we're lucky and fortunate that the name of our company is called the Virtual Reality Collaboration Lab. And we came up with that name in January 2019, and it's living true to this day. So we're super excited about it.
There's one other thing, I don't know if you're able to talk about it today, but I think you guys are working on some educational opportunities for people who may have been displaced and things of that sort, right? Or can you talk about that now, or is that not been approved yet?
Yeah, sure. I can talk about it. We're definitely, working with the state of Maryland and the state of Maryland Education Department and the state of Maryland Department of Labor to be able to launch a couple of trainings. One is an associate architecture certification training to be able to learn how to do 3D pre-construction visualization, otherwise known as BIM, building information modeling, virtual design construction. We've also got a virtual reality soft skills training that we're doing as well. And then the most recent one that we launched specifically for COVID is specifically about virtual collaboration. We call it virtual experiences that benefit workforce advancement. And so, with 40 million plus people out of work, we want to be able to show them how to use platforms like this to be able to help other small businesses create digital twins so that they can operate remotely or they can operate in a physical space. But every company needs to be able to have an adjoining digital twin. I know I've said it a zillion times, to be able to operate effectively, not knowing what the next 6 months is going to bring.
Well, message received, my friend. I thank you so much for your time. I'm going to see if I can do this virtual handshake here.
Absolutely.
As a gesture. Let's see. Nope, I can't figure it out.
Yeah, you can do it, man. Shake hands. Go ahead, reach out. Shake my hand.
I try to remember where to go to click on
Right
this.
on your name, and then scroll
Right
down to handshake.
There it is.
Go down to handshake.
Oh, okay. I'm clicking on my name.
I'm waiting.
I'm not there.
And I'm just waiting. You're leaving me hanging. You're leaving me hanging. Come on, man.
I'm trying, my friend. I don't see the handshake.
It's all
good. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And again, I wish you all, would log in to your YouTube, go to Redwood LLC's YouTube channel and actually see the video. So you can take a look at the virtual collaboration lab here that Aaron Rice has taken us through, and reach out to him and his team if you're in the commercial space, whether that's construction or in multifamily, and create that digital twin. Thank you so much for your time, everybody, and feel free to reach out if there's anything else we can do to assist, okay?
All right. Thanks so much, Jonathan. Appreciate it.